Hey everyone, this video is going to encapsulate the interview I had with Rob Oren, and I just want to make a disclaimer that Rob Oren does not endorse this channel. He did acknowledge that I had this channel, and he gave me permission to share the video on YouTube if I wished. And so I just want to share Rob Oren's thoughts of some of the questions I had for him about how the games can be used in families and therapeutic settings and stuff, just to see what his thoughts were. I do have to say that Rob Oren is a really great guy, down-to-earth guy, for real guy, has a heart, big strong man he is. It was just a great pleasure to sit with him. Me and my daughter got a chance to sit with him. My daughter was running the camera, and I was obviously doing the questioning. But then after the camera was off, we were able to sit down and actually have a heart-to-heart conversation. He loves what he does. He's not in it for himself. He's in it for all the people. And I'd suggest that you would watch his channel and even subscribe to his channel. And I'll provide a link to his channel down below. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the interview.
I'm writing a book for therapeutic use with children or individuals and family engagement. So, first question I have for you, in your experience, what types of games can someone learn through playing?
Learn through play. I always found that historical games, where you learn from others' mistakes, and maybe that'll build a future where people don't make those same mistakes. As you know, life isn't perfect, okay? And we've been through wars and things like that. But by taking some of these games and teaching historical differences and different ideas and being able to put that on a map and say, these aren't just little chits, but these were actual men, and their bravery, and show what heart, determination, courage for a belief can really be. So you can learn a lot of different things through that. And of course, there's a lot of different learning games that a lot of great companies like C.A.G and so forth, where kids can develop dexterity and also as well as learning numbers and letters and things like that. Sometimes, kids get caught up in a school system and they get lost. And I always found that sometimes if you can just make it fun. I mean, for me, I always had a learning deficit when I was younger, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. It was just, I just wasn't interested in what they were doing. But if I had a game, or like my father did when he dumped down a big box of comic books and I decided to learn how to read, it's finding the thing that touches that particular person, that helps them go forward and achieve the goals that they need to meet.
So it's helping someone discover that niche.
Yes.
It gets them really interested in that drive.
There's something that always interests somebody. Okay? Somebody has something that will touch them, and it's just a matter of finding that.
I work with a lot of kids that are sexually abused, physically abused. Their parents are addicted to heroin or meth, and so they grow up neglected, no personal skills, no social skills. They come to school, they're angry, they have emotional outbursts. And through my experience, I've learned that games can help teach those social skills that they don't get at home, because they're learning when to take account, when to not grab and take things from other people.
Now, back from the Stone Age, I did the same thing. I worked at a place when I got out of the service. It was a home for children where, they were taken by the state and everything, and I always looked for different type of things, whether it was a video game, or, back then it was like, oh my God, video games are the devil. That wasn't always the case. Some things, they would all gather in the living room and help each other trying to figure out a role-playing game of some sort. Or we'd go out and just play basketball, softball, go fishing. It's just a matter of finding that niche, that one thing that makes a difference and touches somebody's life.
Is it getting good sound? You can come closer if you need to.
Yeah.
You can see.
I'm not that bad.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that
You have to turn the camera to see both of us.
She'll get it.
Good.
Atta girl.
Kind of zoom out a bit.
And so you mentioned like your father dumping out comic books and stuff, and you were able to have that drive to read and stuff. So how has playing games benefited your family or encouraged your family engagement?
My family, my family has we've always been close knit, and we've always done a ton of things together. And gaming was just another extension of that. You know, my son's always been very close with me, and we've always done everything together. So whatever I do, we've always done things. He's always, and the girls as well, they've always had a niche to do whatever their dad did. So we've always taken that and used it as a family time and laugh, and they've always been competitive and this, that, and the other. And we use it, and I use it as a lesson in life. I think nowadays, a lot of people have gotten too soft. And I know that's kind of a harsh thing to say, but when I was a kid, okay, I remember playing Little League for the first time, okay, and we had 2 divisions. And it wasn't 2 divisions, we would play 2 parts of the season. There were 8 teams, and we played each other once, and the winner of that we would play each other again. It would be called the second session. And whoever won that session, they would play each other in the championship unless the 2 teams, the team won both sessions. Then there was nothing, you were just crowned champion. Well, we lost every game in the first session, and it was pretty depressing. But we came back and we won every game in the second session. So we ended up playing the championship game. And this team was just fantastic that we were playing, and we shouldn't have won all the games that we did. So we got there, and we lost 3-0. There were 2 guys on base in the bottom of the 6th, and I hit a line drive, and this kid somehow caught it. And I remember sitting on that bench and crying my eyes out, and got a little second place trophy. Okay, that lesson drove me, because I remember crying as hard as I did and how much I wanted to win. It drove me that I never wanted to feel that way again. So this thing where there's so many participation trophies and this, that, and the other, there's got to be a winner and loser in life, unfortunately. And you know, we all want to believe that everybody's good, but there is a balance of good and evil, unfortunately. And I just think that in a lot of ways, losing helps you be a better person. It builds character. Sometimes you have to go through steps in life. We all go through them. And life is just one big roller coaster, okay? You have your ups, you have your downs, okay? It's how you pick yourself up. And if you never learn how to pick yourself up, then you're not going to make it in life. God helps those that help each other, helps themselves. And that's a very true statement.
Yeah. If someone just sits and does nothing can be accomplished.
You don't learn anything by everything being handed to you. They're saying, hey, you did a great job, here you go. No. Go out and try to get it, try to win, do it fairly, do it with class, honor, and you'll find you'll have a great life. And you'll win in life.
Wow. So by just giving someone a participation, we're just setting them up for ultimate failure.
Yeah.
Because they don't learn how to lose gracefully.
Yes, you don't have to accept losing, okay? It's okay to be angry about it. But we all lose at some point. It's how you adapt from that. It's how you grow from that. It's what you become from losing. That when you win, you have that, yeah, I did it myself, I put in the work. Everything in life is achieved by working, by giving everything that you have. If you don't have that drive, there's no point. Games, there's got to be a winner and loser. You know, yeah, you have your cooperative where everybody, but somebody's got to lose.
Even the cooperative game, it's either
somebody's got to win,
all lose. Yeah. And
I always found that when we played together, okay, the one thing that we always learned was that if we lost, we'd go up to the dinner table afterwards, sit there, and discuss what happened, and problem solve, and try to figure a way how we were going to win that. And it just built a dynamic, a teamwork, and it brought us closer together. Losing those games, like people sometimes go, "Oh, this game's too hard." That's great. Do you want to beat the game the first time? What's the point?
Right.
What's the point if it's so easy and you can win it? Is it the experience? Well, yeah, the experience is about this much. But if it's hard and you really have to use who you are, your mind, all your senses to get through that adventure, or let's just take a role-playing adventure, then you're developing yourself. You're learning how to use different types of things, how to handle things differently, because those things are going to come up in life.
So learning to be able to cope with the emotions that come from like anger or sadness from losing.
Yeah.
Because coping is a very important skill to have.
Yeah. You can't just throw yourself on the ground, kick your feet, flail your arms, and things are going to get better. Oh, it's okay. That's not how life works, unfortunately.
Actually, I think they might have walked over to the west.
Can you tell us how, in your own words, like how counselors can adapt and utilize play with students?
This was actually one of those.
Adapt?
Like it's still new to be able to use some board games with counselors because they're so used to just doing things the old way, like getting out the sandbox or doing rice receipts. But board games obviously bring a whole nother world to these kids.
I think the most important thing, and here's where you just can't take out TI4, lay it on the table and go, okay, now there's 6 of you, we're going to figure this out. Somebody's going to win this, and you're all going to battle against each other, because you're setting yourself up for failure. You have to find, a counselor has to find different types of games. So you really want to kind of start simple, at the simplest basic form, and see how people adapt, and learn the lessons. Be able to learn how you handle that particular group, because especially those that have been abused and challenged throughout their lives, they're going to act out, okay? And you're setting yourself up for failure, okay? You want to make it a positive experience where they come back and slowly teach them those kind of things that we've already talked about, that to lose gracefully, that's a hard thing to teach somebody that their whole life has been just losses. It's small wins and small losses, and they build confidence. And as you can build their confidence, then you can tell them, this isn't how it goes. There's sometimes where there's a little downside, but come on, let's work together and problem solve this and get back to the winning way. So instead of, if you took normal, I hate to call it normal, but if you took a child in a positive environment, you can do that roller coaster, where I find that I've always found that with children from abused areas and such, and that are challenged, that it's kind of speed bumps. So it's being able to assess your environment, being able to find the right game with the right mechanic where it's easy to learn, fun to play, but enough where you can control it and keep an eye on all the behaviors with the children.
I have found that hobby games work really well.
Exactly. I think we even spoke about that earlier. Hobby games, they're just fantastic, fun, enjoyable, bright colors. We're not going to go play This War Is Mine.
Right.
we're apocalyptic end of the world kind of stuff.
And so I think you touched on something about how much your family has been strengthened by your engagement in your games and stuff.
Oh yeah, we've definitely been strengthened. Sometimes we get so busy with our own lives. My children are older now, but even when they were younger, there was always, this one has this, that one has this one has that. I had my own particular things with my job, my wife with hers. So it's like a fist when we're together, but unfortunately, this is what happens. Okay, it becomes everybody is going their separate way and separate. And by taking that, and if you poke your palm, what happens? It closes up. So by taking a game, it brings you closer for that moment, even though eventually that we've got to go our own ways. So having those moments and those memories and those things that you build on, you always know that, all right, we're really busy, but we know that we're going to find that time and spend that time together. Even though my wife doesn't play, she's there listening and interjecting and laughing. I don't want to play, but I'll watch you guys. And that's enjoyable for her. You know, just knowing that we're all together. Sometimes if we're all in the same room, for her, having all her chicks underneath the roost is just something for her. It's a sense of security and bonding. You know, just like a mama lion with all her cubs. I know you're all in the cave and we're good. And that's what it does. It brings us together for 2-3 hours, whatever we decide to play, or 45 minutes. Excuse me. We're together for that time, and that's our time. And it's important. It's important because, you know, we may fight or we may laugh or whatever, but at the end of it, you just know, you know, that was good no matter what. It was good. Sometimes we aired out some of the things that we were annoyed with each other with. Sometimes we just laughed and had a great time and wanted to keep going. You know, it's those constant emotions that you get from them.
So, to kind of summarize what you said, no matter what personality each family member has and they got their own thing going on, the game always brings them back to the family.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we learned a lot of things about each other as well. You know, there are certain things with my daughter Mimi, who will start explaining the game and you could just see her eyes roll back in her head. She's lost complete interest. We know that we can't play those type of games. And it helps us pick certain games because we know what will interest her and what won't interest her. And there are some games that you know, you just scratch your head and you'll go, oh my God, she'll play that for forever. And Talisman is a perfect example of that. We could play that for like 7 hours and it'd go like that, but they don't care because it is such a cutthroat personal game. You get everything out of your system and you don't even realize that 7 hours go by because we play with everything. 7 foot.
You can't not play with everything.
I try though. I go, come on, I don't want.
So my last question is, what advice would you give to parents to help engage their kids with the games that they have, or pick up games for their kids? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of families out there where, like, the parents have games, you know, they're my games, I don't want you to play them. But to be able to realize the bigger picture that the kids need to be involved in what you do.
A lot of parents just have to sometimes stop. Okay? You know, life is very fast, and it goes by in a blink of your eye. Okay? I remember they were this big at one point. Okay? And here I am, an old man, you know, with 1 foot out the door. But I find that if you can just stop, and even though, you know, oh God, you know, I don't have time to do this, take the time. Because it's going to pay off in the end. It's going to pay off for you, because later in life you'll remember. And then when you're sitting around the dinner table, and this happened not too long ago, where I had come home from Historicon, and I had bought a box of Mech Warrior, the old clip things from the 90s. And I brought it home because I knew how much my son loved it. It wasn't so much that I wanted it, as much as I wanted to bring it home because that was his favorite game. And to see, you know, a kid that was, you know, 28 years old, open up the box, I go, take a look at that. And just see his face, he goes, boy, I remember when we, and that right there is like all the validation that you can ever have. Boy, this was always so good. And they have fond memories of certain things. You build memories by doing this, and by just taking and stopping and doing something, you're going to find that it's going to be very rewarding in the end. The payoff may not be at that moment, but they'll come to you someday. Maybe you're bouncing your grandkid on your knee, and then they go, hey Dad, you remember? Yeah, I do. And that's the payoff. You know, it's the payoff of developing that relationship You know, that they have fond memories, that you are building a foundation. And that's the most important thing with your children, is building a solid foundation for them, giving them something that they have, that they can build their own house on. You can't build anything on sand.
Right. It has to be solid rock.
It has to be solid rock with no cracks. Listen, nobody's perfect. No parent is perfect.
Right.
But you learn from your mistakes, and you try to do the best you can. And if you give everything that you've got, just like in the Little League, just like in everything else in life, you will find that that foundation will be as solid as can be, and you can go from there.
So don't worry so much about the moment, but let the moment inspire.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for agreeing to do the
Oh,
video.
no problem. Anytime. Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. I'll see you guys next time.